When my eldest son Thomas was 7, I went to pick him up from school one afternoon, and his teacher called me to one side. She said, "Can I just have a quick word?" So I thought, "Oh no, what's he done now?" And the teacher said, "I've got to tell you this." She said, "We did it today. We did What Does My Dad Do?" And all the children were standing up saying, my father's an accountant, my dad's a banker. She said, "Your Thomas stood up very proudly and announced to the whole class, 'My dad's Jack the Ripper.'" And I thought, wow. You know.
Please welcome to the stage the founder of Discovery Tours, Richard Jones.
Whoa, it's a bit high.
Firstly, welcome to Richard Jones, Director of Discovery Tours. I'm going to find a little bit about Richard's business and his journey with digital this afternoon. So Creare, Richard's been with Creare probably about 3 years.
5
years, much longer. And she uses a range of products to help his business. So anything from video to web development to search and to social as well. So let's find out a little bit about Richard and the man himself. So can you give us a bit of background on yourself and kind of how you started out with your journey, really?
Yeah, well, my journey began way back in 1979 when I was a civil servant working for the Office of Fair Trading, hated it, and saw an advert in the paper for postmen. And I thought, well, I could do that. Up at 4 in the morning, but finish by 9. So I got the job as a postman and started noticing all these places around London. And I thought, it's fantastic, you know. So I started doing little bits of research, getting to learn about them, started talking to other postmen about them, and they used to say to me, "Look, could you take us around and show us a bit of London?" And out of that, in 1982, I thought one afternoon I could do this. So I put an advert in Time Out for a Sunday evening ghost tour, and 18 people turned up. And my first reaction was, "Oh my God." And then suddenly I did it, loved it, and I've done it ever since.
So was that the point that you decided to change your hobby into, what could be a business? Was that?
Very much so. That was the day, and I just thought, no, I'm going to do this. Come hell or high water, I'm going to do it.
Cool. So how did the advertising start out then for the Jack the Ripper tours? How did you start out kind of publishing that service that you were offering?
It was a different world then. I started off, basically it was print. It was printing leaflets, walking out every Monday morning, walking around every hotel in London, lugging. I had a big shopping trolley. I used to lug the leaflets around in the shopping trolley, go and put them in hotel lobbies. My office was actually one of the phone booths in the Waldorf Hotel. It was like a lovely leather-lined phone booth with a little seat in it. I used to go in there each morning at 10 with a big pocket full of 10-pence pieces and make phone calls to tour operators saying, "Can I do your tours?" And as I say, it was a totally different world. It was getting out there, going into the hotels, putting out leaflets, sitting on tubes, folding leaflets so that people would see them and ask me, "Well, can I have one of those?" So I say it's completely, and digital totally changed all that.
So what time was it then that you realised that actually you needed to take a step into that digital space and kind of move away from that traditional print?
It was probably about 1998. In fact, I was cold called by a company trying to sell me a domain name. And I just thought to myself, well, I don't think this will ever catch on, but I might as well buy one. So I bought a domain name then, and at the time it was Alta Vista and Lycos were the search engines, and it was very hit and miss. And I always remember the very first customer I got from the internet. So someone who lived on Guernsey said, "I found you on the internet," and I thought, "Ooh, it might work." And as I say, but at the time it was very balanced as to where it was going, because as I say, it was just very hit and miss, and it's still very much for a few years. It was the paper going out, printing adverts in tourist journals and stuff like that.
So after you obviously you had a website and you knew that was established, you knew there was an opportunity online to market your website. What was your kind of experience when you first stepped into the kind of digital marketing world? Did it come easy or?
The original experience was, because at the time there wasn't a great deal of competition, because nobody had really spotted it at that time, certainly in tourism. I think tourism took a while to catch on to what digital. So at the time, if you put a website up, they would come. I mean, it's a cliche to say it, but put the website up and they came. And I put it up there, and as I say, for a few years, it went fantastic. And then I started hearing this thing about this Google, and I thought, what on earth's that? And as I say, then probably through the early 2000s, it started building and more people coming from the internet. And then probably for me it was about, I would say maybe 93, 94 when I started realizing, hang on, you know, you can actually do this, you can run a business through the internet. You don't need to go out and walk around the hotels. And I just thought, yes.
And what were the biggest problems you faced then, moving from that kind of traditional what you knew, picking up the phone, dropping leaflets and moving into digital space? What was the biggest kind of challenges you faced with that?
The original big challenges were basically staying there. I mean, that was a challenge, because gradually, it's like anything, as it got more and more well known that you can do it on the internet, more and more people came into it. So it became very more competitive. But I'd say I held my own probably through the late 2000s. Probably then I started hearing about these bizarre birds that were floating around the internet, slapping people. And that's when I thought, I need help with this, I need help. It's just too much now.
So what made you kind of come to Creare then? So that's quite a nice junction to say that you realised you need help. So why was Creare kind of the company that you came to?
Strange to say, I did a Google search and they came up #1.
Fair enough, fair enough. So talk a bit about kind of the process that you've had with Creare then, because obviously you've been with us for 5 years, not 3. So that journey's been, you know, through some transitions of our own, and, you know, and you've kind of developed your business with us as well. So yeah. How has that journey been for you? How have you felt that?
The journey's been it's been a really good journey. It started off, I mean, it was a total web redesign. We had to really, I mean, to be honest, I mean, I hate to say it, but I'd just been doing bits and pieces on HTML and stuff. But then suddenly you needed to be professional. You needed something that worked for people. And of course, as you said earlier, it's your shop window. I mean, a lot of people think, oh, web or something, but it's a shop window, and it's what more and more people are seeing. And we're actually in an international market, so we get people from Australia, America, Canada, South Africa, so on and so forth. So you've got to really get out there. So Creare did the web design, and then I decided, with all these update algorithm changes and everything, I just can't even say it, and I decided I've got to do something. So that's when Creare took over the SEO for us, and it was just a question then of just sitting back and saying, you know, you take all the worry. I don't want to worry about it. I mean, to be honest, I rarely search myself on Google, my company on Google. I just think it's a wasted, you know, you can become obsessed with where you are in the search. Yeah. And I like someone else to worry about it, and people who worry about it for me are Creare. You know, you deal with it, and it's been a fantastic journey. It's been, I say, it's been parts that's been rocky in places, but I think in the last year in particular, it really has come together, and it's great now to have a company. I can phone up with an idea. I mean, I like having ideas, and then being able to phone somebody up and say, I want to do this, I want to try that. And Creare have always been there. We've tried things. Some things work, some things don't. And no, it's been, but it's. I think we're at a happy medium now. Yeah,
it's worth mentioning as well that you do kind of approach it through kind of paid search and organic search and social, and you use all the different channels to drive visitors to the website and convert them into kind of, you know, customers, I guess, you know, for the tours. So I think a lot of the time I talked earlier on about kind of the transparency that a lot of digital companies have. I suppose if you've not worked with another digital agency, you wouldn't know. But do you feel that, you know, Creare give you that kind of transparency of where we're spending our time, and, you know, do we manage your expectations in terms of what we say we're going to do?
Oh, very much so. Yeah. I mean, we've had companies in the past who've done things for us. I mean, we had one company who it transpired were optimizing a competitor's website, and it was only found out that after about a month that they were doing this, that it was. I mean, as it happened, it came just about one of the updates, and they were building such bad links that they got penalised and I didn't. So as I say, it's interesting. But I think with Creare, yeah, you do get the situation now where I really feel that there's a journey been made, and Creare can handle it all for me. Yeah. And I go out and do what I do well, which is tours, writing, and Creare do all the back end work for me.
It's worth shouting out Sunil, who's back at the office.
Oh yeah, Sunil. Hi Sunil.
Okay, so where do you think you'll be then in kind of 10 years? You know, where do you see kind of your journey continuing as a business and using digital to kind of amplify the business's success, really?
It's a worrying thing, because it's gone so quickly. I mean, if you think about, well, I mean, you think about 1998, 1999. I mean, a lot of, as I say, no one had heard of Google, no one had heard of, the internet was very much people dabbled in it, but it was a very small part of what they did. And now suddenly it's so ubiquitous. You sit on the train and people are on their mobile phones, people get off at the underground station, they're finding where they're going by map. Reviews, I mean, you look at reviews, people can review like that online now. Yeah. So as I say, I honestly, where it's going to go, I don't know, but I think it's a great challenge, and to embrace it, and to embrace it early. I think that's the thing, to keep up on things. And I think that's another thing with Creare, is they know where the market's going, or where digital is going, and so they can always, I mean, Sunil's always phoning me up and saying, well, this is going to happen soon, they're going to do this. I mean, with the responsive site, so Sunil will tip me off about that December, saying we need to get your site responsive. Yeah. And it was all ready by then, so I think, yep, hopefully in 10 years' time, I hate to say it, but I'll still be walking the streets.
Okay, so have you got any kind of final thoughts to wrap up your kind of experience then, I guess, with digital, which is what today's about, and also kind of your experience with Creare?
I think experience with Creare is, it's a fantastic experience. It's nice to have someone who you can talk to. I mean, that's one thing I have found in the past, is that it's always very difficult. Digital, there tends to be almost a mistrust of client, that people don't want to discuss things with you because they think, oh, he'll go off and do it himself, or he'll go, all this. So it's nice to be able to chat and just say, well, I've got this idea. Because, I mean, let's be honest, I know my business better than anyone knows my business. People in this room know their business better than people know their business. So you know your customers, or you should know your customers if you meet them. And I meet them day in, day out. They tell me things. So I think from that perspective, Creare handled that side perfectly with the back end of it. Mm-hmm. I like to be out there in the front talking to the clients. And all sorts of different things. Like one of the things we came up to do last year was with reviews. Now, one thing about reviews is that online reviews, people tend to only respond to bad reviews. Yes. So effectively, you get people who write a review, they might write you a good review, and you might get 12 good reviews, and then you might get one bad review, and it's that one bad review that gets responded to by the company. Mm-hmm. So effectively what the company is saying to the client is, well, we don't care about customers who are satisfied, we only care about those who are going to grumble about us. And that was a nice thing that Creare pointed out to me. So I respond, all reviews are responded to now, and I think that's really important. But I think from a business perspective, value your customer, and your customer's got an online voice. They're talking about you everywhere, and that's, I think, the other thing with Creare, especially with the social, is they find out where the customers are talking about us, and then we can go steaming in and be really apologetic, or really, wow, thank you for that.
It's worth mentioning, isn't it, because the social product that you have with Creare, we've worked with you to kind of say what would benefit the business if you do it, or if we do it, what can we bring and what can you bring to the table, and we've really worked together to make sure we deliver that.
Yeah, and I think social is going to is the big growth area now, and I think with us, I mean, with our Facebook page, we get really good exchanges, discussions. People start talking about, especially with Jack the Ripper, who's Jack the Ripper, and posting their photographs and theories. And it's nice, and I think I think what it's become, the best way to put it is, I write books on Britain and Ireland as well, and I used to go all around Britain, and the first place I'd go to was at the local pub, because you could always find the old guy at the bar who knew everybody, knew everything, and he was like your source. Well, go and see this house, go and see them, they'll tell you about this. And I think that's what Creare, the old guy in the pub, who used to sit at the bar and was saying, yeah, go and see them, go and do that.
I think that's a nice way to end the interview there. I'm happy with that. Look, thank you for doing this for us. It's been an absolute pleasure. If you get a chance to check out Richard's tours, you should. They're absolutely brilliant. A lot of the Creare guys have been down and experienced it. Thank you very much, Richard.
Thank you. And can I say thank you for that review?
Yes. And I will review the website.
Thank you for that review.
Just a reminder then, just to continue the conversation on the hashtag #YourTeam. We've got Ewan Sang coming up from the pitch, and also Warren Knight, who's our keynote speaker and author of Think Digital First, after the break. We're going to have a half an hour break now to get some teas, get some coffees and relax for a minute, but use the Creare representative on your table to have a go on the health check tool and see how your site ranks. Thank you very much.